Welcome back to Face to Face. I'm Jessica, and I'm joined with a very special guest today.
I'm Aryana Leon, and I'm about to get my first facial.
Let's get into it. I'm so excited to have you join me today.
Thank you for having me. Honestly, this is awesome.
And also your first facial. I'm so honored.
I don't know if I'm supposed to keep my eyes open or closed during this. What do I do?
You can have them open or closed. It's totally up to you. We're going to do a custom facial treatment on you today, so we'll double cleanse your skin. Again, since this is your first session here, if anything does feel tingly or active on the skin, just let me know.
Will do.
But we'll double cleanse your skin and then we will customize from there.
This is already incredible.
You're the best. I just need to bring you around everywhere. So I'm dying to know more about you as a musician.
Yeah.
I know you have a lot of gigs coming up, which we'll get into, but I'm curious a little bit more about almost like your musician brand persona, if that makes sense. Kind of like how you've curated the evolution.
Yeah. Coming up with a brand was tricky. My brand is really my name. So Aryana is my first name and Leon is the last name. Leon means lion in Spanish, so it took me a while to come up with the brand idea, but I realized why not just go with this lion theme. I'm also a Leo, so
okay.
I figured last name means lion, I'm a Leo.
It only makes sense.
Why not? Yeah, and I went on Canva, and that's where I played around for hours. I'm no graphic designer. Wow, that's nice. But I designed my own logo using some of their, tips and tools and whatever, and made a lion logo, added my name to it, picked some colors, and once I had that, it helped me build the rest of the brand. I realized that I gravitate towards bold colors, I gravitate towards fun and goofy and poppy-ish music. I think I make alt pop, R&B, neo soul-ish. Don't try to define my lane too much, but I've been told my brand is goofy swag. I don't know if that's accurate.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'll say it's so tricky to have all the tools of Canva at your fingertips.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I feel like when you're able to create your brand in Canva, it's almost just as easy to be like, I have second thoughts and I want to change everything because I can. And then you're like, what's better, the original, the new one? Do I hate them both?
No, that's real. And I had a similar, I didn't have a website for a long time because the idea of building the website stressed me out, but then also, what colors do I use? What font do I use? What happens if I do it and I hate it?
It's a little intimidating.
It is. And someone said to me, wow, what's this?
This is a cleansing tool. So it has a little silicone scrubber on it, and it just helps to shimmy up any dirt or debris. And the vibration also is pretty relaxing, helps stimulate blood flow.
This is awesome. Anyway, someone said to me, it's better to have a website than to not.
Yeah.
And for some reason, that just felt like the best advice I'd ever gotten at the time. And I said, screw it, I'm building a website. So I stayed up all night one night and made a website using the colors I had on Canva. And I realized I could always change it later.
Yeah.
But now I look more legitimate as an artist. And so, yeah, I think similar with Canva, it's like I might as well just start and change it later.
And it's a learning curve. I feel like once you get the hang of some of these things, you can utilize those tools forever down the road.
Should see my first reels. Definitely a learning curve, but they're archived now. So
see, we talked about this in the last episode of if you started within the last year, you have so many more tools at your fingertips than if you started 5 years ago, 10 years ago. All of our stuff is gonna look janky because we just didn't have the tech or the resources that everybody has today. But also it means, like, your stuff needs to look hella good now.
Mm-hmm. Because the competition's higher. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
AI captions is game-changing. I remember typing out all my captions before the auto recognition, which was awful.
Even, like, hashtags. I feel like I used to have all the hashtags, like, in a notes folder of, like, okay, these are, like, the ones we're doing now. Let me cycle these ones out. Like, you could just AI it now.
Yep. Yeah, no, I also had a notes on my phone with all the hashtags.
Gosh, feels like such, like, an old person thing to be like, yep, had my hashtags. I probably still have a couple of folders, I'm not even gonna lie.
I mean, you should see my notes app on my phone. It's actually horrendous. It's every thought I've ever had. Just.
Are you a voice memo person too?
Yes. Mostly to songwrite though.
Yeah.
Which is bad because I never label them.
So it's just a bunch of, like, audio file.
You know how it, like, saves with your address?
Isn't that weird?
Super strange. So you can see every place I've ever recorded, but no names
like,
of any
so
file.
this is where I got inspiration for.
Exactly. Oh, this is nice.
So, obviously, we've talked about the hashtag folder, so this gives me a little bit of preface of, like, you've been doing this for a while if we've had the hashtag folder. Tell me a little bit about your musician evolution, how long you've been doing this, kind of what prompted you to become inspired and want to do music and pursue kind of the music industry.
Yeah, I mean, the Aryana Leon brand started 2019 is when I dropped my first song. It's not great. So whoever's watching this, don't go back too far. But it was a start, and I was teaching at the time, and so I taught middle school math, and I just didn't have too much time on my plate. And so I think it was like spring break or something that I took the time to write and record the song and got it released, and a friend of mine made the cover art. I had no idea what I was doing. I started a music Instagram page and had, 20 followers and would post covers and me just singing at the piano. And, that's kind of where it was to start. And as I was teaching, it was like, where can I find free time? Winter break, summer break. And then COVID. And all of a sudden I found myself, I was teaching virtually, but I had a lot more free time during the day. And I wrote and recorded an EP in the span of maybe 2 or 3 weeks. It was a bit nuts. But I didn't know how long this pandemic was going to last for. I wanted to kind of get it done as quickly as possible. And so I released my first EP in 2020. And once I had that out, I figured I have enough material to kind of start performing. And so I didn't know where to start. I started with open mics. And I was living in Providence, Rhode Island at the time. That's where I was teaching. And I started with open mics, and I did a few of those where I would, like, sing my originals, and they went well. Some man saw me at one of those once and asked if I wanted to play at a comedy club. Which I didn't really understand because I'm no comedian. But he said they needed a middle act, like an intermission act, to break up the comedians.
Okay.
And I said, sure, I've never done this before. And it was the first time I played with backtracks, and I got, I got a split of the ticket sales at the door, so it was the first time I had any cash in my hand from my music. Yeah. I mean, from music generally, because I'm definitely not making much money off streams. You make very, very minimal minimal pennies. But yeah, and then from that, a DJ that I had met asked if I wanted to kind of headline a show with him, and I was really excited. I'd never done something like that. My face was on a flyer.
And this is still in Rhode Island at the time?
This was still in Rhode Island, and now I'm like, maybe I'm getting the dates mixed up, because maybe the EP came after this, but I'm in Rhode Island, and it's March 2020, and my show is supposed to be like March 15th.
Okay.
And the world shuts down, or at least this country shut down on March 10th. So 5 days before my show is when they closed down the schools, they declared a national emergency, whatever, and I never got to play my show.
No.
Yeah, it was awful.
Did you have almost like a narrative going on, like, is this like not meant to be? Like, did that ever cross your mind? Or you're like, okay, it just gives me more time, we'll figure this out?
No, I mean, truthfully, I've wanted this for my entire life, so definitely, I mean, whether it's meant to be or not, who knows, but I've decided if I manifest it, I have the best shot of it happening. So, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to say, I'll be on Disney Channel by age 12. I used to practice my little, glow stick.
Yep.
My name is Aryana, and you're... but, 12 came and went, and I wasn't on Disney Channel, and I felt like I hadn't achieved my goals. So the next one was, I'll be on American Idol at 16.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's what you can audition.
Yep.
16 came and went, and I hadn't made that a reality either. And I was really grateful. I went to public school, but I had really awesome, a really awesome, well-funded music program, which I think is super important. And it's where I was able to, from honestly kindergarten on, it's where I learned the fundamentals of music. I started to get some theory under my belt. I had the opportunity to sing in choruses and a cappella groups and octets and just did musical theater for a little and talent shows at school, and that really nourished my music desires. And then I went to college and I was part of a collegiate a cappella group, which, do you know anything about collegiate a cappella?
No.
It's quite the world. It's definitely got its own culture.
Okay.
Have you seen Pitch Perfect?
That's exactly what came to mind.
Okay, that's what my college experience was like. And I'm not joking. There was I was in an all-female group. There was an all-male group that was our brother group.
Okay.
Kind of. Pretty sure the movie was actually based off of a book, and the book was based off of real a cappella groups, and mine was one of them.
What?
But way back when.
Yeah,
because they started in 1981 or something. Shout out to the UNC Loreleis. But yeah, that gave me my first taste of what it was like to perform professionally. We would get hired for gigs around North Carolina, which is where the school was, and everywhere from we was sang at the National Dentistry Association lunch. We opened for Jay Leno at some place in North Carolina. We sang at the White House in the lobby.
That's crazy.
Super random, but I was the concert manager my sophomore year, and I started to event plan through them and see what does it mean to put on a show? What does the business side of this look like? How much are we charging? What are our rates like?
Mm-hmm.
We operated as a 501c3, so we didn't, the money went back into the organization and fueled kind of our tours and what we did. But that definitely gave me a bit of the business savvy and understanding of how to do it when I started in 2019. So 2019 happened, 2020 happened, fast forward 2021, September 2021, I moved to Seattle. And the first thing I do is attempt to make friends, which felt impossible.
Did you feel the Seattle freeze?
People talk about that, but and I'm sure it's a thing because enough people talk about it, but everyone I was meeting was a transplant who also needed friends. So I
it's
didn't...
right place, right time.
Kind of, but that took a while. From September to January, I definitely had no friends. And I had a handful, and I knew people who knew people, but I hadn't made my own friends. I made my first friend actually on a plane flying back home to...
I love that.
Yeah, I grew up in the DC area, so I was flying back home to DC, and this girl sitting next to me, she had 2 cats, and I wasn't a huge cat fan at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I have to sit next to this girl with 2 cats on this
She
plane.
had cats with her?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And it's a 5-hour flight. I'm like, I don't want to.
You're not this crazy cat lady.
But she starts talking to the guy next to her, and I hear her say she lives in Cap Hill, and I live in Cap Hill.
Yeah.
And she looks about my age, and I'm like, she could be my first friend.
Oh my gosh.
So I started talking to her, and we became really good friends.
Are you still friends?
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love it.
She's come to a lot of my shows, been a huge supporter of the music grind, kind of watched it kind of start. And so, yeah, anyway, I had no friends. I was even going on TikTok looking up how to make friends in Seattle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was hard, and then I realized the way to do it for me was to start going to music jams. And I realized that there were a lot of like free events within Seattle where you could go just meet other musicians and do impromptu jams on stage. And I met people, they connected me to people, so I started doing So Far Sound shows, and that was like a huge turning point.
For those that don't know what So Far Sounds is, can you give us a brief synopsis? Because I love their model. I think it's great.
No, the concept is cool. Basically, they're an organization that puts on songs from a room, which is where the name So Far came from. And they basically pick unique secret venues around different cities in the country and even in Europe and Barcelona and London, and they don't tell the audience where the venue is until 36 hours before the show. So basically what you would do as an audience member is you'd say, oh, there's a show in Cap Hill, Seattle. You buy your ticket, and then 36 hours before the show you get a location. You go to that location and you get a pretty intimate, like, acoustic concert with 3 artists, and you don't know who the artists are until you get there. And it's, like, stripped down, everyone's sitting on the floor.
It's very campy.
Very campy, and I mean, I've done them I did one in a chocolate store, a man's living room, a hotel lobby, like, a beautiful hotel on the water, so it's a really nice date night. But through that, I met a lot of different musicians and artists and started getting, like, I finally started performing. But it was, just me and a guitar player or just me and a keys player.
Yeah.
Which is great. But I didn't feel like I was yet able to put on, like, the kind of production that I wanted to put on. And I think if I moved here September, I probably started doing So Fars, like, maybe, like, the following spring, maybe. Did a bunch of those. Did them in Seattle, did a couple in DC, did one in Boston when I went there for a baby shower. And then I said, I gotta start playing my own shows. So I asked around, what do I do? And people said, just email venues. I said, okay, guess I'll do that. So I started, like, cold call emailing venues, and I was offered a slot at the Sunset Tavern in Ballard the Monday before Thanksgiving. And I was like, oh boy, sure, I'll take it. I mean, it's going to be my headline. I got to pick the openers. I was super excited. And they told me if I could get at least 30 people there, they would be impressed. And I sold 62 tickets.
Hey!
I was like, I doubled it, guys. And shortly after that, I booked Barbosa. So I played my first show ever, November 2023. My second was January 2024. And in December, before that Barbosa show, I also, like, cold call, emailed the booking agent for Capitol Block Party.
Yeah.
Really not expecting anything. And 3 weeks later, I still don't have a response. I'm like, well, it was worth a shot.
Right.
And then I opened my inbox during winter break. That's incredible. What's going on now?
I can show you. These are the golden gua shas.
Oh, wow.
And they have these little solar panels. So they take light in.
Okay.
And they have microcurrent that runs through. So it helps tone the facial muscles as well as move the lymphatic fluid.
They feel incredible for anybody who's wondering.
So you check your inbox.
I check my inbox, and 3 weeks later, I have a response, and I couldn't believe it. And I guess because of the Barbosa show that was kind of coming up, my name had like circulated around, and they knew who I was, which was shocking to me. Yeah, I mean, I felt like the work and the SOFARs and the networking had started to pay off, and they said, you know, we'll reach out in a couple weeks with an offer, and a couple weeks later I got an offer, and that's gonna be like, I've like opened for a couple people now, but this is gonna be like my 5th show ever.
That's so killer.
So I'm really excited.
This is all your first year, right? Like performing
Basically,
in a sense. Yeah.
Basically. I mean, I started with the SOFARs like 2022 to 2023.
Yeah.
And then, this is like my first.
Talk about like optimal trajectory though.
Thank you. I mean, I have to say, like,
manifesting works.
Manifesting definitely works, because you set your sights towards something, and then you just kind of don't let anything get in the way.
Can you tell me more about this like notes list? I saw you did an Instagram post of like your goal venue spots, and you've been like checking them off.
Oh, yeah, that was for festivals.
Okay.
Specifically, I mean, I had like a list on, it started on a Google Doc, and then maybe I also have it on the notes of my phone, but I started just researching like what are festivals and big things in Seattle that I would want to be a part of. And again, like, I only moved here September 2021, so I just didn't know anything. I didn't know what Capitol Block Party was until a few weeks after I moved here, and I had heard this big festival had just happened a couple months ago, and it was in my neighborhood. And
right.
But yeah, I started making a list of different things. So I had heard of Belltown Bloom, Cap Hill Block Party, Day In, Day Out, Bumbershoot, but I'm shooting for that one, and it'll be a while. But yeah, I wrote them down, and I said, I'm going to play these. And I even put like the years next to them that I was hoping to play them. And somehow Belltown Bloom and Cap Hill Block Party happened the way that I had hoped it would. But I'm really grateful. Like, I feel really lucky that I was given a shot.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have to respond to my email, and they don't know me. So yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunities, and like, Seattle freeze or not, the city has accepted me. So they've let me become an artist here.
You're a Seattle girly now.
I guess so.
Welcome to the club.
Thanks so much.
We're happy you're here. Well, as Cap Hill Block Party approaches, is there anyone you're like most looking forward to performing with, or also like watch their set? Is there anyone on your list where you're like, need to see their set?
You know, I mean, the lineup is pretty awesome. Unfortunately, I did not get Friday tickets. As most people know, they are sold out, and artists are not given 3-day passes, unfortunately.
I know.
So I can't see the Friday lineup, though it's a wonderful one. But on Saturday, I'm excited to see Kay Trinata. I believe he's Saturday. Maybe he's Sunday.
I think he's Sunday.
But I do have Saturday, Sunday tickets.
Okay.
So
yeah, I want to say he's Sunday.
yeah, I'm excited for Kay Trinata. I'm excited for Flyanna Boss.
Oh my gosh. Did you see she's pregnant?
No.
Yeah.
Isn't it 2 people?
There are 2 people.
Okay.
You know how
they're
there's...
both pregnant?
No. Only one of them's pregnant. I feel like the shorter one.
Okay.
She's pregnant. Like pregnant.
For a block party?
Yes! She did...
That's gonna be something.
They did like a baby announcement song situation.
Oh, totally missed that.
Yeah.
But their Instagram, I mean, their TikTok game is
unmatched.
excellent. Yeah. think I might be saying this wrong. TK Mazda, perhaps? I'm so sorry if you ever see this video and I said it wrong. But it's like TKAY. That's another person I'm excited to see. And then like the local artists.
Got a great local artist lineup this year.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I have a lot of friends who are playing it, so it's just fun that like folks I know in the scene have this opportunity as well. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I mean, quite frankly, there are also a lot of names that I just don't know on the lineup, and that's always fun for me. Is just walking around and seeing who I'm gonna find and what what new music I'm gonna learn about. So.
Do you have your outfit picked out for your performance yet?
Oh, this is so stressful.
I know.
I kind of.
Okay.
I have bits and pieces of it.
What's the vibe?
Cherries.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
My whole outfit is based off of, well, okay, so I reached out to a designer.
Okay.
Because I thought, it's Cap Hill Block Party. Typically, I pick all of my own outfits. Like, I don't have too much help. I go to Crossroads.
Yeah, love Crossroads.
Yeah, and I look for a statement piece usually, and then I try and build the outfit around that.
Okay.
But Block Party felt big.
It is big, yeah.
So I put like an Instagram story up that said, anyone know any Seattle-based like clothing designers? A couple people got back to me, and I reached out to somebody, and he sent me some fabrics.
Ooh.
One of them had cherries on them, and that really inspired the outfit. But the turnaround is really quick, because I reached out to him a couple days ago. I gave him less than 10 days, which is insane.
Yeah.
But he said yes, and so what I did is literally yesterday bought a bunch of different pieces that I'm hoping he can kind of like incorporate with the cherry fabric.
Okay.
And we'll see. I'm not going to say too much more because who knows? Everything might change between now and then. I'm hoping he gets back to me soon and we'll see. But
I'm excited.
Thank you. Are you going?
I am.
All 3 days?
I am.
Oh, that's
I've
super
never
exciting.
been before though, so I'm excited.
I actually haven't either. My first block party, I'm playing it, so that'll be fun.
So cool.
I do, because I live in Cap Hill though, I hear it.
Yeah.
So it's been loud, which has always given me a little FOMO.
I know, you just have to scope out like the right location for Friday that you can just walk and like climb on a rooftop and
For
watch
real.
the whole thing. Because I feel like this is achievable. There's enough bars and restaurants and stuff that have to be close to main stage to like get in on the action.
I mean, it's a bummer. I could have gotten a Friday pass had I...
They went quick.
They went quick, but like if you get a 3-day,
Mm-hmm.
you could still get a Friday.
That's what I had to do. That's why I got the 3-day.
That makes sense. But that didn't make sense for me because I get in Saturday.
Mm-hmm. I know. But they didn't, it's not like they have Friday, Sunday or something. It's like...
Yeah, that's a bummer.
They went quick. I got the text message like, rates are going up tomorrow. Get your passes now. And I'm like, okay, I like really need to get a pass because I'm not paying more money like tomorrow.
Yeah, understandably.
And then I'm like, ooh, so if I want to go on Friday, I'm going all in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's real. But it should be worth it. My best friend from back home, like at DC, is flying out here for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
so
that's cool.
I'm really excited.
I'm going to do some dermaplaning on your skin so you'll feel a little bit of friction as I go along. It's another form of physical exfoliation. So it'll be nice and glowy and bright. But you just feel this little bit of friction as we work across.
Sounds good. Whatever you put on me before smells so wonderful.
It also smells like cherries.
Ah, it's like a sign.
On a cherry vibe.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this cherry outfit works out. We'll see.
I'm excited. I hope it works out so I can like see the whole vision.
Fingers crossed. I've also never played at Numos before, so I think that'll be fun.
That's a cool venue.
Yeah, I've been inside, but...
Yeah, I'm curious what the turnout's going to be. I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, Friday for sure.
Yeah.
Will be.
Well, here's the tricky part. Like, if you're scheduled for a Friday time slot also when
chapel's on.
Yeah, like, oof.
Yeah, that is tricky. I'm very grateful for the time I was given. I think it's still bright out, so it might be hot, and people might want to escape to the indoor venue. So.
Yes. And your Saturday. 5:15.
5:15.
Be there.
Be there. Never done an interview with my eyes closed.
It's kind of weird, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
I feel like it's almost like sleep talking a little bit. Like, is anybody listening? Does it matter?
Well, and my brain kind of feels like mashed potatoes right now.
Facial brain.
Yeah.
So I'm dying to hear more about the details of this single. You have a single dropping on the 17th.
I do.
It should be out by the time the video drops. So
you can stream it, y'all.
Go stream it, and you can tell us all the tea. So
that sounds good to me. With
your single, is there anything else we should be keeping an eye out for towards the end of the year? Do you feel like it's building on another project, or it's gearing up to something similar?
You know, I'm constantly sitting on music, and none of my music really sounds the same, in my opinion.
Sure.
So a while back, there was an EP I was planning to release, and I've been sitting on it for over a year now. And when so much time passes, it almost doesn't feel like it's you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm trying to strike the balance of, do I start fresh? Do I release the old stuff from the vault? Do I develop a project, an album, an EP? Do I keep dropping singles? And the honest answer is I don't know. It's as an independent artist who is really doing it all on my own. And I work a full-time job, and so it's trying to figure out what to balance at what times. So if I'm playing a bunch of shows, I don't always have time to be in the studio. Or if I'm recording a lot and writing a lot, I don't have as much time to be making social media content. And it's a tricky balance. So no music I can announce yet coming up. But I do have a birthday coming up. I got a birthday on August 2nd, and I am throwing a free show for everyone to come out to and celebrate my birthday, but also watch me and hopefully a couple other acts play for free in a park. So
stay tuned on your social media. You'll announce more.
Yeah, my Instagram is definitely the place to be. But yeah, my social media, my stories, I'll post about it. So stay tuned.
So exciting! I love this concept too.
Of a birthday party?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. But like a concert in the park for your birthday, is it something that you just like, I don't know, like spur of the moment, you're like, this would be kind of a cool way to celebrate?
Yeah, I mean, my favorite thing in the world to do is perform. And so I think on your birthday, you should have an opportunity to do something that brings you joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I also I wanted it to be something accessible that all my friends could come to. I didn't want to make them pay to come to my birthday party.
Right.
And so I figured a free show in the park could work out. But truthfully, I tend to have sporadic creative ideas with very little time to plan.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping it all comes together. I'm hoping it all comes together, and it's free show in the park so I can have a chance to do what I love, and hopefully folks can enjoy it too.
That sounds great.
If you're around, you should come.
I should. What day of the week is the 2nd?
A Friday.
A Friday. I'm off on Friday.
Look at that.
Look at timing.
And I just figured, like, to have a birthday on a Friday, I might as well do something.
It's meant to be. You have to.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. Gotta celebrate. And it's Leo season. It's very like a Leo to throw a concert for her birthday.
It's all about me. It's my day.
But it's about the music and the people, and I do have a full band playing with me, so
How did you get your band together?
You know, I get this question a lot. I'm just honestly a very lucky lady. Let's see.
Because you've got a good amount of people in your band.
Yeah, and so I guess it first started when I was doing those So Far shows. And, you know, I even forgot, even before that So Far show, I did this super weird show with, like, 5 people in the audience.
Okay.
So I kind of always forget about it. But I needed a piano player for that show. So I posted on social media, anybody know a keys player? And somebody reached out, and I got connected to this incredible keys player. He's wonderful. And he played a lot of my shows with me initially. But he's a very busy man, and couldn't always play all of my shows. So one day I said, anyone know a guitar player? And someone connected me to a guitar player. So I started playing shows with him. Again, it was great. But then I realized, you know, like, I need more percussion.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, you got to get a drummer. But I just didn't know how to go about doing that. I had a friend who was a drummer. He played a show with me. But again, Seattle musicians are spread really thin. And so one day I was at an open mic in West Seattle, and a man approached me after I sang on stage with a backtrack, and he said, you're way too good to be playing with a backtrack. Do you need a drummer? And I said, kinda, yeah. And he said, I'm a drummer. But, like, I don't know this guy at all. So I'm like...
That's so bizarre, but that's so, like, Seattle music scene.
Well, I mean, it was ballsy, right? And
yeah.
Quite frankly, like, I appreciated the confidence, but I also had no idea if he was any good or not.
Yeah.
So he connects me to him on social, and I go home and I listen to his stuff, and about a week later I hit him up and I said, do you want to play a show with me? And he has become my go-to drummer. He's played so many shows with me at this point. I even started bringing, like, the full drum kit to, like, the So Far acoustic shows because it was so great. But basically, I had him, and then through social media and through jam sessions just met other musicians and started, like, playing with people consistently. So typically I play with a guitar, bass, keys, drums. For a while I had a sax in there. But what, as a solo artist, ooh, what's this?
This is just some cold, like, wet cotton. I'm just gonna soften your mask, and then we're gonna remove that.
Feels great.
Good.
Anyway, as a solo artist, it's tricky because I don't want to be reliant on a band all the time. Like, if their schedules don't align with mine, I can't not take a gig. And so I've tried to have a mix of, like, sometimes I'll play with backtracks, sometimes it'll be a strip set with just a couple musicians. If the members of, like, kind of like my go-to folks are not available, I have kind of a roster of musicians that I'm able to reach out to, and I'm just really grateful that I've met so many talented people. But yeah, for Block Party I've got keys, drums, bass, guitar, and myself, and it should be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be awesome.
Hope so. Knock on some wood.
Seriously.
Appreciate that. It's the biggest thing I've ever done, like, in my life, ever, I think.
What is your family's opinion on pursuing music? Are they, like, gung-ho about it? Are they like,
I mean, it definitely depends who you ask. My mom is very supportive of me generally. She's my biggest cheerleader and support system. But she's also my biggest critic. I love you, Mom. But what I mean by that is, like, even as a kid, I would write songs and I would play them for her. And if she didn't like it, she'd be like, all right.
Don't know about this one.
Yeah, and she'd be really honest, or she would say, like, yeah, I don't like this one. And obviously, like, music is subjective, and it didn't necessarily mean she was correct every time. Like, a song could have been good to me and bad to her, but she kept the expectations and the standards so high that I was, like, consistently pushing to do better.
Yeah.
And she's like who drove me to like my musical rehearsals and came to every chorus concert and, you know, came from DC to North Carolina to watch me sing in my a cappella group. And so when I said, you know, I want to start pursuing music, she was like, cool, sounds good, as long as you still have your job.
Right.
And as I started to spend more money on it, like it's really an investment.
It is
a lot of money. And I don't think people really fully grasp, you know, you're paying photographers, videographers, producers, people to mix and master, paying your musicians.
And the gigs don't always cover that.
The gigs never. I've never had a gig cover. I've never not been in the red. I've never not been in the red. And I think that is something that like needs to be said out loud, because oftentimes I'm paying my musicians out of pocket, or they're just being incredible human beings and not asking for much.
Yeah.
Like I've had friends and people who do favors for me, but I spend a lot of money for shows, and I've walked out of shows like my cut has been $40, and that doesn't cover the photographer and videographer. So yeah, it's expensive. And my mom saw that and she was like, are you sure?
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I haven't quit my day job. And so as long as I'm able to balance both, I have a sustainable income that's able to fuel my passion. And she's okay with that. And obviously, as I've been booking more and more things, she's very proud and impressed, I think. My cousins, I think, laughed at first. They're like, what are you doing?
Where do you sit in the mix? Are you
I'm the
older?
youngest.
Okay.
I'm the youngest of everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got an older half sister. I'm younger than her. I've got, you know, all my cousins on both sides of my family. I'm younger than them. Now the next generation of kids is around, though, right? So I've got nieces, and
Yeah.
I'm not the baby anymore, but
It makes a difference, though, when you are the baby and you're, like, pursuing something.
yeah, I mean, but at the same time, they've always known, like, I've always performed. I had to sing at, like, family functions, right? They'd be like, dinner's over, Aryana, go sing. And I'd be like, okay. So they always have known me as a performer, and I think weren't surprised that music was still, like, in my life, and that I was trying to keep it at the forefront of what I do. And so, yeah, I mean, people are supportive. They follow my Instagram, they like my posts, they tell their friends about it. So, yeah, I'm grateful. My mom, though, it did take her a while to, like, get on board as, like, the content of my songs started maturing. She's like, you can't put that on the internet. And I said, you know, I'm grown. I'm grown. That's all I could say to that one. I'm grown, and I think I've at least maintained a positive enough reputation and image for myself that I'm not...
It's not like mega scandal that it's out.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Were you still teaching when you had your first couple songs come out?
Yeah.
And was that ever an issue, like, about the content of your songs or, like, students listening?
So my kids are my biggest fans.
Love that.
I taught 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math. No, I mean, the first school I worked at, they were pretty supportive. I mean, one day they even played one of my songs on the morning announcements.
That's so cute.
It was very cute.
Were your kids like, that's my teacher?
Yeah, and, you know, they would... Some of them thought it was cool, some of them thought it was cringy.
Sure.
And they would sing it to me when they, you know, came to class. I also was not shy to, like, perform for them, right? And so I was constantly breaking out into song in class because, you know...
That's very Leo of you. I really love it.
Well, how are you supposed to engage middle schoolers? You know, you tell me. Like, it is a whole performance act. And so during COVID, I even started writing math songs.
I love it.
Pretty sure they're unlisted on YouTube now. But yeah, I have songs about graphs and, you negative numbers, and they're very corny and very cringy, but
they help.
I hope so. It was hard. I mean, a lot of my students didn't even have internet access during the pandemic, and so to get them to come to Zoom class was impossible. And so I wanted to make sure, even if it was it was definitely not enough. Kids deserve, like, quality education and, like, consistency and structure. So a math YouTube video out, like, in the world every couple of weeks is not enough of an education. But I knew it was at least
something
engaging them with the content. So yeah, I did have, like, one song that was in Spanglish that was a little PG-13.
Okay.
And because most of my kids were Spanish speaking, they listened to that one.
Of course.
We wouldn't talk about it in class.
Have to let it ride.
Yeah. But they also, like, had my back. Like, my kids, like...
Were they in the comment section, like...
You know, sometimes they were in the comment section, but they also just, like... I don't know.
They weren't gonna let people, like, bully your...
They didn't
as a
snitch.
teacher.
You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
they didn't go and tell administration that I was releasing the stuff, and the principal wasn't checking up on it either. She was also an awful, awful, awful principal, which I have no shame saying out loud, because she was racist and problematic and so bad. But yeah, they didn't snitch on me. I didn't snitch on them, and we had a great time together.
I love it.
Yeah.
The happy teacher part, not the...
Not the evil principal?
No, just to clarify.
Yeah, no, it was, I loved teaching. It wasn't sustainable, financially, nor, like, emotionally. But...
I used to teach as well.
No way. What did you teach?
I taught aesthetics in
Really?
beauty school, yeah.
That's I mean, you're great at it, so.
Thank you. But it's the same thing. It's, like, not really financially sustainable. It's a lot emotionally. And regardless, it's like there's never going to be a small enough class size or enough resources. They're always out of something that you're paying for out of pocket. And you're never off. It's like you'll still have people I still have people hit me up to this day, like, having a question or needing a resource or something, and it's like, I'm happy to do it, but they're not compensating you for the other stuff. Sure. Like, it's insane. But yeah, I get it. It's a hot mess out here.
I can't say anything, can I?
No, you can.
Yeah, no, it's a challenge, but I have hope in our public education system, and I think there's a lot of ways we can reform it for the better. It's crazy. My students are, like, 18 now.
Isn't that insane?
Bizarre.
It's like, oh my gosh, you're
so
grown.
Y'all can listen to my music now, in case you're watching.
I'm gonna bring the mirror around and have you take a peek. We're all done with
wow,
your treatment.
It's so glowy and shiny.
So pretty.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Whoa.
Your skin looks beautiful.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Everything can be left on your skin today, so you don't have to worry about washing before bed.
Cool.
And everything's going to continue working even after you leave. So you have special actives on the skin that's still going to brighten and hydrate and exfoliate the skin. So the longer you leave it on, the better.
Cool.
Then you can cleanse in the morning as usual.
You got me looking so good for block party. Look at that.
I'm so Hey, I'm just doing my part.
It's appreciated.
Well, I will give you a minute to get changed, comfy, situated, and then we will reconvene on the chairs once we're all set. Sounds good? Well, welcome back. We made it to the chairs.
Heck yeah.
You don't know, we had a whole, like, chit chat,
just some girl time,
girl talk. We had to get all the internal blabber, like, out.
Spill the tea.
A spill the tea moment. Let's talk a little bit more about Block Party.
Yeah.
It's gonna be here. Let's see, if we put this out Thursday, your set will be in 2 days.
Oh my goodness.
We're sneaking into the future. Your cherry outfit will be ready to go. I'm manifesting it for you. Is there any sneaky details you can give us about your set or like vibes? What should we be anticipating?
Sneaky details. While I'm playing a few covers, I tend to lean towards mostly originals, but I've got a few fun covers. Let's see if I can give you some hints about my covers without saying anything. Your hints are wet, a lack of air, and that's all I'm gonna give you.
I'm gonna make my guesses off camera. I'm mentally noting these down. If our viewers watching have not yet been to one of your shows, what can we expect from an Aryana show?
Yeah, I like to play with the crowd. Like, I have a lot of fun engaging the crowd. So y'all can expect to be singing along with me because I will make you.
You're gonna be called out. Called on.
Yes, absolutely. No, you will be.
You're going back to your teacher roots.
Truly.
Call and response.
Absolutely. I think I like to keep the energy high, and none of my shows ever feel the same because I really am playing off what the crowd is saying or doing at the time. So, you can expect a full band, super talented musicians, mostly jazz trained, and so
love that.
Sometimes I go off the rails and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing up there, and they just start improv jazzing, which is always
so cool to be a part of.
Yeah.
Do you have any pre-show to do? Like, this is your pre-show checklist day of?
Yeah, I mean, I tend to have a lot of body tension and stress.
Okay.
And that really, really impacts your singing. I don't think people realize how physical of an act being on stage really is.
It's a whole workout.
Yeah, and even without being on stage, singing by itself. So I do a lot of stretching.
Okay.
My voice teacher sent me a YouTube link to an 8-minute vocal warm-up.
Okay.
It's just, specifically 8 minutes. I always do that. I tend to drink a lot of tea and honey. I've been doing planks before my show, because it engages...
Toned core?
Yeah, no, it engages your core, and you need your core to sing.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
That's some of the ritual.
The hot girl summer and good vocals. Love it. Do you feel like there's anything on your list where, if it doesn't happen, you're like, I need, this is the one specific thing on the list. If it doesn't happen, I'm going to feel a type of way about it. Your one must-have.
I gotta warm up. Yeah, I gotta warm up. That, has to happen. And if it doesn't, I can probably still put on a show, but I'll be in pain after.
Okay.
I'll feel, not great. A nice-to-have that I had at my last show. I have a massage therapist that I see pretty regularly.
Okay.
She's awesome. She's also in the music scene. But she's worked wonders on my body. I've really gone through a wellness journey the last year and a half. And yeah, she came to my last show, gave me a jaw massage.
Ooh.
Yeah. That was very, very needed. I didn't realize how much it would just kind of open me up.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, I love having that.
I'm thinking I need that right now.
It's wonderful. Add it to your pre-show to-do.
Absolutely. It's going to be my pre-daily to-do
There you
list.
go.
I feel often when I'm doing facial massage on other people, I'll be working their masseter muscle, which everybody always is tight and clenched. And I clench as I'm releasing their jaw muscle. I'm just get it, working at it, and I feel mine progressively tightening up.
Oh no!
I'm taking the tension.
Taking it from them, yeah. No, my voice teacher has me massage that too when yeah.
It's a game changer.
I think so.
Yeah.
But it still stays tight, so if anyone has any tricks.
Honestly, it's the strongest muscle in your face, and we use it all the time. So it's even if you were to go see a massage therapist or get a facial and it gets released, it's something you need to work on almost twice a day when you're washing your face or in the shower, or it literally will tense back up. Because it has memory. It goes back to that stressy.
That makes sense. I'm just trying to make it to a point where I can have a massage therapist follow me around all the time. Like,
Aren't we all?
yeah, that's the goal with this music thing, is a private massage.
We'll know the silent you made it when you have a massage therapist on retainer. It's like your silent wealth sign is massage therapist on standby.
It's important, you know?
Self-care.
Exactly.
Do you have any self-care practices that you stand by that you're like, these are my essential, I'm feeling a little bit off, this kind of regrounds me and feels like I'm myself again?
I mean, this is gonna sound silly, but I forget to breathe often.
Yeah.
And so being really intentional about breathing and like taking 10 minutes to lie on the floor and like breathe.
Yeah.
If I'm really worked up, that's a go-to. I've recently learned that my body really appreciates cold. Like, people like heating pads or whatever, but for me, cold feels really, really nice. And so I've like even taken like a ice pack to my chest, has relaxed me quite a bit. I have anxiety, guys, if you didn't know. I don't present like I do, but it's there. Yeah, ice packs generally have helped. Yoga is like something I need to start doing more of, but I know is like a very grounding.
It feels better once you're done, but like getting it into the routine, I feel like sometimes is challenging.
It is, and I mean, I've started doing yin. Have you ever done any yin?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean, that has helped because it's, you know, it's, you're basically taking a nap.
Yeah.
But you're in such extended poses for such a long time that it really does like
relax.
Yeah, it relaxes the muscles. So.
Versus like hot yoga vinyasa,
yeah,
where you're just like dying and sweating.
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah.
But I should add facials to the list.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm here.
She's great. She's great. I don't know if y'all can tell, but she did a great job.
The skin is skinning over here.
Yeah, you did a great job. I appreciate it.
I'm happy you enjoyed your first facial experience. I did. You have a lot of big things coming, and I'm so excited for everybody who's watching to get to experience this trajectory with you and be a part of the next couple events. So you don't miss out. Make sure you follow Miss Aryana on all platforms because she's going to have all the tea about the latest dates. Capitol Block Party is Saturday.
Capitol Block Party
5:15.
5:15.
Numos.
That's the one.
Be there.
Be there.
Don't miss out.
And it'll be nice because it's inside, right? You're not going to be all hot and sweaty. You can come
cool off.
Out. Yeah.
You are going to sing. Maybe dance a little.
Yeah, you're going to sing. You're going to work if you come to my show. I will put you to work, but it will be fun.
You're going to have a good time.
You're going to have a great time, I hope. Fingers
crossed. And then your birthday is coming up as well. Leo season.
My birthday's coming up.
Around the corner.
Yeah, August 2nd, and I'm hoping to throw a little bit of a free show. So, probably in a park, likely at Gasworks, but follow me on socials to make sure you're in on the most recent date, because that could change.
Final question. If anybody wants to connect with you for shows, collaborating, writing, anything more of you, how should they best get in touch with you? Do you like an email? Do you like a DM? What's the vibe?
I can't promise that if you slide into my DMs, I'm going to see it. So you can always try. But an email's the way to go. And my email is itsaryanaleon@gmail.com. So hopefully you'll figure out how to spell it if you're watching this video.
Perfect. I'll link it in the description so it's spelled out and you can connect.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining me.
This has been a pleasure.
And I'm excited to see you at Block Party.
I'm excited to see you there.
Saturday.
She's going to be there, y'all. If she's going to be there, y'all should be there too.
If you see me out in the wild, I will have sunscreen on deck. So you find me, I will have a hair tie, I will have sunscreen. I'm going to be mom of the party. So.
You heard it here first. Let her take care of your face.
Anytime. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'm excited to see you soon.
Thank you.
This has been great.
I love it here.
I
really do. I'm coming back.